So Jalen Hurts isn't a good teammate. And I'm going to open it up right now with my guy, one of the favorite people of all time. It is Angelo Cataldi, and he joins us right now. I give him an extra couple of days. And I don't want him to get too worked up or anything here. So I want you to be all ready for this. And I asked Howard Eskin that question yesterday. He doesn't think Jalen Hurts is a good teammate.
I just want to start by saying if I knew you had Eskin on yesterday, I would not have agreed to do this. I am not being paid for this. And now I'm questioning my own judgment in coming on this show since I am somehow in the same boat as Howard. Is Jalen Hurts a good teammate? Here's the best answer I can give you. I don't care. You understand? When it's 3rd and 7, and Jalen Hurts is dropping back, and A.J. Brown is running out about 8 yards. I don't give a damn who's anything, except the quarterback will throw the freaking ball, and the other guy will catch it, and they'll go first down, and everybody's happy. Why do I have to work? When did it become a world, Dan, where I have to not only pay these guys 10, 15, 20, $30 million, I got to worry about whether they're freaking happy? I don't care if they're happy. I never cared if they're happy. I never befriended a player at any point in my life. I never wanted to be a friend of a player. I want to watch them perform, and I want them to succeed on the teams I root for. Is that basic enough?
Yeah.
What do I give a damn whether A.J. Brown? And if A.J. Brown goes to the front office and goes, I'm not happy here, I need to leave, I would say to him, I'm paying you $27 million this year. Shut up and play. That's what I would do, Dan. All this other stuff is such horse crap. It's meaningless. And that's what Howard should have said to you.
A.J. Brown. I happen to agree. A.J. Brown. You just said it right now. So, Angelo, here's the problem, though. You take into possible collateral damage here. If this guy starts the season and all of a sudden with these new Timu hirings at the coaching staff that you have with all these one-year guys who haven't done jack crap, all of a sudden you take into account here that this guy's going to be reading books on the sidelines. He's going to be even more of a distraction if you get closer to the trading deadline. I'm with you. You got 2 NFC titles. You're making $30 million. You got a Super Bowl ring. Why isn't he happy?
All right. Well, now you're on the real story, and that is the people that are truly determining the fate of these great athletes. Great athletes. If Sean Mannion can't call plays, and none of us knows, including Sean, if he's any good at it, since he's never done it. Yeah, he's going to have a problem with his trouble-making wide receiver and probably with his pouting quarterback and all that stuff. You got to get those hires right. This is the thing. The Eagles held a news conference last week there. They gathered all the media from Philadelphia around. And Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni set the template right from the beginning. We want good players. We have some good players, and we're hoping to get more of them. Oh, slow down. I got to get all this down on my pad. You want good players, and then you want to get more good players? And then, I guess if you get enough, you're going to win. Oh, wow. This crap that we're being... All of it, this is the problem I have, Dan. When I was in that business for 33 years, I never once said, wow, what they're saying is garbage. It's not important. But then you become a fan. And my perspective now, having been through 3 years without having to go on the air every day, analyzing everything that was being said, what I finally realize is 97% of it is bullshit. I couldn't say that word and all those years.
I love it.
Right? But it's all of this stuff. I don't. Why does anyone? Do they really think a guy trying to going out in a 9-to-5 job, grinding through every day, sits down and watches a sports event? Does he go, gee, I hope Joel Embiid is happy tonight. That's what's important to me. I know he's making $55 million this year, but that's not what matters to me. What matters is if when the game is over, he'll be pleased with himself and happy with his world. I don't give a crap about that. Do I care when George Clooney makes a movie? If he's thrilled after the movie, living in his palace in the south of Italy or wherever the hell he is. The point is, why should I care about the mindset of these guys? They are entertainers. I am watching them play. They're being paid enormous amounts of money for it. I just don't give a damn whether they're happy or not.
Okay, well then help me out on this one here. So this past Friday, it's funny you would mention that. So, Angelo, how would you have handled this? You bring in some of the most respected journalists in Philadelphia. You sit them in a room. You tell them to stay on a story and to stop reporting on stuff. And you tell them, and then you wait for them to come out at the combines the following Tuesday, and you let them have a head start, and you already know what's being said at the combines, and they told you not to say anything. What happened to Philadelphia media there, dude? I mean, you're not doing your job.
Did you say you started with the respected sports media people in Philadelphia?
I did.
I got a handful here. That's probably enough. You know, I mean, there aren't many left. There aren't many left. Listen to them. Back when I went to school 100 years ago, you had to make a decision early on in journalism school. Am I going to go into journalism? Or am I going to branch out into public relations? Well, now the branch is all in public relations. No one asks the questions anymore. Joel Embiid, how many injuries is this now? Now he's got, and by the way, I'll come back on every day next week if Joel Embiid plays on Saturday when he is eligible to return. Because if he missed 1 week with this injury, that's not going to happen. All right. There'll be another 3 weeks. The point is that this stuff that's going on right now, somebody in the media needs to ask questions that would lead to actual news. I know it's unimaginable. And they should do it not worrying about whether they are alienating the coach or the general manager or the guy running PR, Bob Lang over at the Eagles. Don't care. People are so distracted now by what the reaction is going to be. No, your job, if you're a media person, one job. Find out what the fans are interested in and ask questions to get answers to what they're thinking about. That's the whole game. And nobody does it anymore. Nobody, I guess with social media and all the so many opinions floating around, they don't feel that that's their role anymore, but it still is.
Angelo,
we sit around. We don't know what's really happening in the inner sanctum.
Do you agree, Angelo, that when you do stuff like we do, when we're doing shows for such a long period of time, it becomes a lonely job in a way, because after a while, get this, like you said, I didn't give a shit about what teams said to me. I didn't care what a player said. I didn't want to be friends with these people. I didn't have friends like that. I had really good business acquaintances that, for me, inside of a business, that allowed me to have my critical views, because, again, I'm not going to fence straddle on anything here, but when I see that, the Nick Castellanos thing, you don't report on that, then you're holding some sort of fireside chat. How do you know what's coming out of Novacare? Is it true? How do you know what's coming out of Daryl Morey's mouth when you know that guy should have been fired 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's done nothing.
Nothing. And when he speaks, you realize that he doesn't appear capable of doing anything, that he's not a great thinker. It's weird and bizarre as his predecessor, Sam Hinkie, was. At least he could hide behind this weird demeanor to where you would go, well, maybe behind him, he's a real genius. No, there's no evidence that is true based on what he did in the short time he was a GM of the Sixers. But that's the whole point. I've reached the point now where, with a few exceptions, there's still a few people in sports that are truth tellers. But now, I base just about all my opinions now on what I see when I'm watching a sports event. That's how I do it now. Like I kept going back to that last meeting at the sideline, or 4th and 10 for the Eagles, where you saw Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts getting together, right? Nobody had to tell me what was going on there. I could see it. Even that moment, the head coach was deferring to his buddy who hadn't made a good play call all freaking year, right? And he goes, yeah, you're going to make this one too. And it's a stupid play call. And you see Hurts kind of roll his eyes like, well, I'll be back on the sideline in a second. This will be over. And you go, that's how I base my opinions at. I could see it. Otherwise, what Sirianni is he going to give me is he going to shed any light on that moment?
No.
Is he going to say something where you're going to go, oh, that's what was that? No. You know why? He doesn't give a damn about the fan. He cares about one thing, keeping his locker room happy. That's all he cares about. And there's too much of that going on now. Too many people trying to be friends with too many people. Guess what? The minute it's over, you're a sport. You know why Howard's in the locker room, or was until a couple of years ago, where they finally gave him the boot? Because he wanted to be one of them. He wanted to befriend them. He did befriend some of them. Barkley, Schmidt, some of them took him in. And, at that point, he had to swear to secrecy if he found something that in some way infringed upon his buddies. But the fact is, I never wanted to be that. Right? First of all, I learned when I was about 9 that I would not be in locker rooms very long as a performer because I sucked. Yeah, that doesn't mean you can't do the job of being in there getting information that serves the fans. And it's just too many people now trying to make friends. The minute that player retires, you'll never see him again.
I'll tell you,
friend. He's
Angelo,
not your friend.
You just said it. You want to stay in the locker room a long time. You
Yeah.
don't befriend these guys. You want to stay. You want to get knocked out of the locker room.
Yep.
Start being buddies with some of them. And I'll show you how you're not going to last. You want to last in this business? You can't be friends, because you know why? You're going to say something critical, and somebody's going to take it sideways, and you're going to go, "Hey, that's just the way I do business."
Dan, 2 of the highlights of my career was 2 attempted assaults on me in locker rooms. The Flyers coach, Bob McCammon, came after me, and Ray Ellis came after me, the Eagles defensive back, because they didn't like something I had written. It's like,
Wow.
I didn't write it for you. I wrote it for the fans. If you didn't like it, that's fine. Give me a response. I'll print your response. You have every right to give your side of whatever the story was. But I'm
not here for you.
I am not going to kowtow to you. Do you understand? Whether you realize it or not, these players or these coaches, whether they realize it or not, I'm helping them because I'm adding interest to their sport, which leads to higher TV revenue, which leads to more money for the players, right? That's my role. You want to come after me, you didn't like what I wrote or whatever. The only guy left in us, there's only one left. Marcus Hayes is the only guy who's still writing stuff that he knows is going to offend people in these sports teams. No one else is going near it anymore, Dan, because they don't want to deal with the negative feedback they're going to get from the team they cover.
What did you mean by this? At this most recent press gathering, Jeffrey Lurie said that there are no words to describe the close relationship between he and his Eagles and his beloved and adoring fans. This is AngeloCataldi.com, by the way. Make sure you read this fabulous thing right here. By the way, the man bought the team for $185 million. It's worth $6.7 billion, probably with a value of
8.5 now.
$8.5 billion. There it is, right there. I see it. What did you mean by this, Angelo?
All right. Well, here's the story of that. It all begins where I got an email last week, towards the end of last week, from a season ticket holder for the Eagles of the past 23 years. And this season ticket holder he had an actual chart of exactly how much he has paid over those 23 years each season for the season tickets. And it's more than double. He had 2 seats on the 20-yard line. He was paying $2,500 for the 2 seats 9 years ago. Now he's paying $5,300 this year, coming up the next season. 9 years. And he showed me, he proved it. Every single one of the 9 years, he had a ticket hike. He had to pay more. Every one of the 9 years. It's all there in writing. It's all legit. And and before that, Lurie had the sense not to do it every year. So he would raise the ticket prices, give you a couple of years with the same numbers, then go up. It was about every 3 years for a while. And now he does it every year. And here's what he's saying, which is, I can't tell you how much I love you people. You're so important to my franchise. And on the very other side, that's the words. The act is, let's grab a few more bucks out of these hardworking people. Let's squeeze a little more out of them because we can. Because we are the kings of the mountain. We are the NFL. And we will force these people to scrimp and save. This guy's got to pay $5,300 to go to 9 regular season games next year and 2 meaningless preseason games. $5,300. And then if they make the playoffs, guess what? It's like last year. He gets to pay another $600. It's greed. It's unmitigated greed. And I already know the counter argument because I've heard the Eagles make it to me when I was doing this on the air. They go, well, first of all, if you can't pay it, don't pay it. Just watch the game on TV. That's their first attitude. And the second is, all the other teams do it. And you're going, well, hold on. Okay. Yeah, a lot of the other teams do it. I'm not going to say all the other teams. But there's only one team whose owner called his fans the best in the world. And that's Jeffrey Lurie, who now owns a franchise worth $8.5 billion. He can't give those fans a break, Dan. Is he going to go starving? He can't help these fans that he loves so much.
Do you think that he takes advantage of the Philadelphia Eagle fans because of their
Yes,
passion?
100%. And so does everybody else in that organization who pays lip service to how much they love these fans. Nick Sirianni, oh, what a bunch of fans. That's 1 minute. The next minute, he's lecturing them on how to behave, right? And then they ask a question that a fan wants an answer to. Guess what? You ain't getting it from him. So that what they say doesn't have significance. It's how they act, what they do. And they are gouging the fans in this town. They are making it like the Flyers in the 70s. Flyers in the 70s had a blue-collar audience. They are regular guys paying regular prices to see a team they love. And then they started charging more and more and more. And even to this day, you're not seeing many of those blue-collar people in any of those games. They're too expensive. They can't afford them. Does anybody care about that fan?
No way. You're bringing now up why the control then of the media, because they don't want a negative narrative out there that would take that in any way, shape, or form. The coach has got to be looked at as a centerpiece in the community. The quarterback's got to be looked at as a centerpiece. The owner's got to be. So the PR department is actually sometimes you would think is more important than actually the coaching staff. Because if you're going to gouge your fans like that, Angelo, and you're going to 65,000 fans and you're charging $5,000 to $6,000 a year and you're raising rents and you're raising rates every single year. I mean, you're not going to let a negative narrative go out.
Well, the PR departments are way more important than they were when I started in the business 40-some years ago. Way more important. But the problem you have is that the the independent voice in this mechanism, the press, the media, they become part of the PR department now. They become part of it. You should see some of these people. Some of this stuff they're writing is so stupid that you say to yourself, it's like, here's one here, right? This is written in a context. It's on Philly Voice right now, written in the context of how amazing Sean Mannion is, right? When Nick Sirianni did the 17 interviews with his candidates, right? 17 candidates, offensive coordinator. When he sat down with Sean Mannion, Nick Sirianni wasn't sure what he wanted in an offensive coordinator. And then he listened to Mannion, and then he knew. All right, there you go. Well, first of all, I don't know what the hell Mannion was saying. I heard him talk. It wasn't that impressive to me. But that's not the point, all right? What I read out of that, what I would have written if that was my take on this situation was, Nick Sirianni's been the head coach of the Eagles for 5 years. He has just gotten through a debacle with offensive coordinator. He's whiffed on 2 of the last 3 offensive coordinators. And he went into a meeting with one of 17 candidates to take that job. He didn't really know for sure what he wanted. If he doesn't know by now what kind of an offensive coordinator would be able to fit in with this group of highly talented players, he shouldn't be the head coach. He should know that. That's the real story, not that Sean Mannion's so amazing. So because I'm a troublemaker, Dan, I went back to last year. I went back 1 year ago to compare what Sirianni said about Petula to what Sirianni said about Mannion. He didn't even change the words. He said he used the same word, which most people have never used in their entire lives. The word mesh. He said, what I love about Mannion is how he can mesh the run game with the passing game, with creativity, the mesh. And I'm going, oh, the mesh last year was horrible. Now the mesh is good. You didn't even change the words, Dan.
Oh, my God.
Guess what? Nobody, even the people that covered both news conferences these 2 years, nobody went, well, wait a minute. You can't sling the same shit every year. At least change the words. At least do something different, right? No, I'm telling you, it's mind-boggling to have done that job and done it the way it's supposed to be done and watch the way it's done now and feel nausea. Nausea. Man. Nobody wants to rock any boats.
Man, Angelo, a couple more here for you. So, okay, if it's you, do you get rid of AJ or do you not?
No, I wasn't. I remember, since I don't give a damn about whether these guys are happy. Here's what I know: that guy can play.
He can.
Now, the one thing is, all right. The one thing is, there's somebody who really knows that. It's the New England Patriots and their coach, who I'm blanking on.
Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, Vrabel. Vrabel knows how great A.J. Brown is because he didn't want to lose him when he was in Tennessee.
Correct.
So Vrabel may just say, I got to have that guy. We don't have enough playmakers like him. We made the Super Bowl, but come on, we're short of talent. And make an offer so great that you have to take it. But it'd have to be phenomenal. They say that the asking price for Brown right now is really, really high. Keep it there. If somebody does it, all right, then you consider it. But otherwise, unless you know somebody else who can make the plays that A.J. Brown can make, I'm not getting rid of him. Because I don't care how happy people are. I want to make myself happy by having my team win. That's what I care about, my happiness.
Okay, Nick Sirianni here, his year coming up in 26. In your opinion, you're making all these drastic changes with all these guys and all these first-year guys, all these young coaches. You lose Stoutland for a guy, Chris Cooper, I've never heard of. You've got like all these run game guys that
Yeah.
have never really had a job. How is his job security going into 26? Do you think, because again, there's really no experience on his coaching staff now offensively. The experience is on the D side, which he doesn't even have any say, it seems, in of any kind whatsoever. I mean, no say almost. I mean, so your opinion going into 26, is Nick Sirianni on thin ice or is he on strong ice? Is this guy's job safe?
Very thin. No.
Wow.
And here's why. And I experienced this personally. People that are around Sirianni for as long as his bosses have been around him understand his shortcomings. One of which is he's not overly bright. All right. So the fact is, he whiffed on his offensive coordinator 2 years ago. He got it right last year. This year was another disaster. And here comes another coordinator. If he misses 3 out of 4, Dan, and I don't think I'm way out here on this. I told you, I think they're going to have a losing season. I think they'll go like 8 and 9, something like that. I don't think
I got 7 wins.
All right.
I got 7 wins.
Okay. Whatever it is, 7 wins. Nick, get your suitcase. You're leaving. He's out. 8 wins. He's gone. First round elimination next year. Probably gone. Because they know this is not Bill Walsh. They know this is not Vince Lombardi. They're around him every day. And they realize the only way Nick Sirianni can win is have an elite roster and really great assistants who do most of the heavy lifting. And it's work, so you can't get rid of the guy. He won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. But you got to understand that they already know the guy is not what it appears. Not what his record indicates. So he's one and done right now, I think.
He's 7-7 over the last 14 games, by the way, this last year, because the first month of the season, I like to call it liar's month because you never really know what you're going to get. So, all right, I got to ask you about Daryl Morey. I mean, listen, seriously. I had a conversation yesterday with Howard on this, and I got to tell you, we went back to Houston. And the only move that I can remember that he's made in his career was the Harden move from OKC to Houston. And other than that, has he made a good move at all in Philadelphia? At all, any move has he made? Maybe the drafting of the young kid.
Edgecombe is definitely definitely a good draft. I guess Maxey was already here, right?
Maxey was already here. He didn't do it.
Morey stinks. Morey. The irony of the whole thing is they had Hinkie, who worked for Morey, and they said, all we got to do is move up a level and get the guy that was the boss of Hinkie. It will be fine. Never realizing that neither one of them had that much going on, right? Morey is awful at his job. All right. The fact is, what are they going to do? All right. They're going to blow it again this year. They're not going anywhere. Everyone knows that. Did you see NBC throwback night? Right? At what point did Bob Costas want to go back into retirement? It was a 50-point lead by the Spurs at one point in Philadelphia. All right. And you go, well, right. Embiid's gone. Embiid's got an oblique now. That's going to be another few weeks. They come back with 12 games to go. Oh, here comes Paul George. Oh, good. We got the whole team together. They're out in the first round. There are half a dozen teams that are clearly better than them, no doubt about it. If they face any of them in the first round, they're gone. Now what?
What do you make of Embiid's time in Philadelphia? We were talking about this. I'm like, my God, Malone would destroy this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy like Akeem would ruin this dude going up and down the court. Look, Ben Simmons was a train wreck. I get it. But isn't this because of the money a bigger train wreck?
You're already anticipating my next blog post, which I've started working on already. I'll give you the headline now. All right. He's the $500 million bust. He is already under contract. he's under contract for 13 seasons. This is
55 large.
55 this year. Total amount in his 13 contracts, when he is done with this contract, will be $514 million.
$500 million.
And they haven't yet made a conference final. All right. This is the bust to end all busts, Dan. And the fact is, the kid is made of tissue paper. He can't stay healthy. He can't. Oh, he's back. Oh, his knee's better. He's going to play. Oblique. And then it's the same script over and over. Oh, he hurt himself. He crashed into the Celtics play left. He comes back. Oh my God. You can hear the Rocky theme behind him, right? And then he winces and hobbles for the rest of the night. They lose anyway. And he milked the drama. Then, he can't play. He's hurt. He had an MRI. He's out. He's the first man in history who will recover from an oblique injury in 1 week. No, he's done. Man, he's done. The only question is, when he finally is done, if they're going to fail again this year, everyone's going to know, come on, it's over. Now Daryl Morey has to find a way to get something for Joel Embiid on the open market. Do you have any faith that Daryl Morey's going to be able to do that?
No, absolutely not. Zero.
No chance. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's awful. He's awful.
I mean, I'm starting to feel sorry for Elton Brand. Like, I mean, I'm starting to go, yeah. I thought Elton Brand was bad, but I don't know. Elton Brand looks pretty damn good compared to this guy.
Everything's relative. You're right. But Elton Brand actually did suck. All right.
He did.
He was not good either. All right.
No, he was not. I got one last
one.
He
threw money at everybody. No, Dan, it all comes down to it. It's the reason we've had a couple of parades in the last 10 years, courtesy of the Eagles, because their general manager, Howie Roseman, knew how to build the team. He did. Now he's having a hard time finding people to run that team on the field during the game. But he's still got a team capable of winning a championship. He just doesn't have the people running it who can.
Last one for you. I got to go Phillies here. And I had a conversation with Bob Nightingale, who you know, and Bob Nightingale was like, what's the deal going on with Dombrowski and Harper? And I'm like, I don't know. He hit 260 something and he had 27 homers. And all I heard him say was, well, hey, we need a little more out of him. You think the Phillies do you think that they regret the length of the contract? Not the player, but do you think they regret the length of it? Because I'm starting to see the back end of this contract like the Pujols contract with the Angels, where you looked at the last 4 years of that and you were going like this, my God almighty, I can't wait for this thing to run out, because that's not the same player that I saw in St. Louis.
Right.
Is he starting to all of a sudden wear that out right now in Philly?
I would like you to name for me one team that was pleased with giving a player a 13-year contract anywhere. Miami did it with Giancarlo Stanton, and he's still hanging, but he's like Embiid. He can't stay on the field, right?
That's right.
When you do 13 years, there's no way to project what he's going to be like on the other end of his career. You can't. It's not a good idea. The bigger issue for me is what's going on with Harper and the way he's speaking right now. Because first he got so upset because Dombrowski said he didn't have an elite season, which everybody knew was true. Yeah. Now he comes out the other day, he's on Pat McAfee on ESPN, and he's representing the United States in the World Baseball Classic. And he goes, all he's done for the 8 years he's been in Philly is tell us how much he's devoted to this city and how he knew this was the place for him because of the people that ran it and the owner and all this. And this was love at first sight when they sat down with his Scott Boras, his agent, right? Now he's on McAfee the other day, and he goes, it really came down to the Phillies and the Giants. And pretty sure I probably would have gone for the Giants if Bruce Bochy didn't announce that he was retiring as a manager at the end of that season. This is what he said there, right? You go, well, so we weren't even your first pick. All this love and devotion you have for Philadelphia would have gone right down the drain if Bruce Bochy decided he wanted to keep managing. Really? So then all the other stuff he said couldn't have been true.
Right.
This love he has, oh, he loves us so much. Oh. He'd be in his 8th season with the Giants right now, probably also without having a championship yet. But that's what I'm trying to say. The whole message of today is whatever they're saying, the odds are very strong. It's bullshit. Watch what you see and make your opinions based on that.
Boy,
your eyes will tell you the truth.
The last person on IP is Rhea.
Yes.
Every single time.
True.
That's the last person on
True.
that network and on that station that actually comes out and says things that I enjoy her saying. I mean, too bad they don't give her more of a role than they should. However, I mean, damn, Angelo.
You are right, Mr. And there's one other person who's telling the truth every day. And I'm looking at him right now.
Oh, Angelo.
Dan Sileo.
Thank you so much, my
The
friend.
last two people standing are Rhea Hughes and Dan Sileo.
Boy, that is so great. Thank you so much, my friend. By the way, AngeloCataldi.com. This headline here, hey, I saw it this morning and I go, Laurie wins even when he loses.
The truth. Look at that. He's got $8.5 billion now. That country.
Oh my God, Angelo. Angelo, one day, you know what? One day I got a dream. Can I tell you what that last dream is here before you go?
Yeah.
I would love to have and do a show one day, a radio show with you one day. And Rhea. You, me, and Rhea. Just doing a radio show. And I'll sit in chair 2 for the first time in my career. I'll sit in chair 3 with Rhea there.
Yeah, you should.
And
that's about what you would
sit there and we'll do something like that. That would be a dream of mine.
Dan, it would be my dream too, but not in the morning. I don't get up that early anymore.
Angelo, thank you so much, my friend. That is the great Angelo Cataldi. Absolutely, man. I love him. He is so good. He is.